What do you think? What separates you from all the prison YouTubers who are kind of like from that same time period? Like, what do you think it is about you that let you elevate past all that?
Well, I mean, there's still a few that's going crazy. Christina Randall is a female prison YouTuber from Florida, and she was one of the main people helping me out behind the scenes.
Really?
And she's also one of the ones that told me early on, watch who's trying to benefit from you.
Mm.
And that, you know, a lot of the stuff that we spoke on really helped me out. But I think the biggest thing for me was I kept elevating and adding new things. Because if you stay the same, people are going to get tired of it.
Mm.
So I didn't want to stick to doing the same shit. I kept adding new things. I saw the genre was dying out early on because now everybody's talking about this story. So I started getting into the rap shit.
There's only so much to say about prison.
Yeah, I mean, it gets old quick, but the rap shit is really what I feel like kind of kicked my way into the industry because now I'm affiliated with, like, it went from Pino to Boston Richie, Finesse 2 times, fucking Greedo.
Right.
These names are on a completely different level now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So while he's still thinking about me, I'm over here doing this.
When you do prison type stuff, it's like everybody's anonymous in it for the most part. There's just a bunch of random guys. And then you get to the rap stuff and it's like, oh, you got crazy bullshit going on and these people are famous and influential and people actually really care about
it's
knowing
on a
what's
different
going
level.
on.
Yeah. This shit, I mean, bro, what was that, like 3 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Imagine still being the guy that wants to, from 3 years ago.
Yeah. What I will say about you too, though, is that you've always taken a quality over quantity approach. A lot of people just hop on live stream and just babble and just will spend an hour reading random donations and they're just talking and it's just like, it's bad content. It's badly put together. It doesn't show respect for the audience. You have always put out these nice, clean, crisp 10, 15-minute videos that are like, they're made for people to view and to, you know, appreciate. And that goes a long way when so many other people like just don't really have it, the intelligence or whatever to make the stuff watchable, right?
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, I try to put in effort into what I do.
Yeah.
You know, and it just so happens that like I accidentally ended up being good at this shit because I never intended on being a YouTuber.
Right.
So now that I know I'm good at it, like not trying to sound cocky, but I try to put out the best shit that I can.
Do you have other ideas for content that you'd like to make at some point, or is it?
I don't even want to really do this snitching shit anymore. Honestly, like once I get 1 million subscribers, I'm really on to some other shit. So I kind of just want to hit that milestone because that's like a big achievement for me. Get the gold plaque. I'd be interested in even having my own podcast. I want to stream, live stream.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about that with the live stream and stuff. I'm surprised you haven't really taken that leap.
Streaming's hitting.
Yeah.
So I want to set that up in the background and get something going with that at the same time. But I just want to keep expanding. Yeah. If I just stay doing the same thing I'm doing, eventually it's going to die out. But if I keep expanding and making it bigger and bigger, hopefully I can have my own No Jumper or Vlad TV.
What I will say though, it can be hard to balance streaming and also making like high quality video content. Like, you know, if you wake up and you spend 10 hours or 12 hours on a video, and then you also want to be the guy who's spending 2 or 3 hours on Twitch just talking.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I'm a gamer.
Oh, yeah.
I can fucking stream that.
What else you play? What do you play?
You know what I mean? Everything with a gun. Oh, really? Everything. I don't play none of the sports shit. If it's got a gun in it, I'm on it. Really? So even with that, I'll be playing with people online. They're like, "You're not the real 1090 Jake. What the fuck are you doing playing this shit?" I'm like, "Bro, this is."
It's hard to fake that voice.
And then people wanna, you know what I mean? Like, yo, bro, why don't you start streaming this shit? This shit will go crazy. Right. And it just like I'll put a clip up on my fucking Instagram. Everyone's hit me, yo, let's do this, let's do this. So I just want to get into different aspects. I want to vlog, travel vlogs, all that. Right. Because this whole street shit, snitching shit, is really kind of fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's weird too though because like, you know, YouTube always has just these different waves of shit happening, and like a couple years ago it's like the gang content just became so much more popular, and you had channels start blowing up like Swamp Stories, whatever, and there's still an appetite for that stuff, but it's maybe not quite what it was. So it's sort of like providing like an overview of like different things that have gone on the streets.
Well, that's the thing, bro, is I was covering a lot of deaths, a lot of murder cases, and that shit gets exhausting when all you're thinking about is who got smacked today. Like, and that shit, what the fuck? I like the snitching's a little more positive. No one's dead. You know what I mean? Versus just having to fucking graphically describe someone's death and read the report and the bullet entered here and exited here and the splatter and the police found it and fucking it's not that good for your mental to just nonstop talk about that shit, you know?
Yeah. The other day I tried to find a video, I forget why, but I was trying to like find some video about some gang beef, and it was something like the neighborhood versus the Hoover thing. And so I typed into YouTube like neighborhood rolling 60s versus Hoovers, and I found like 100 videos that are about the history of this rivalry. And I'm like, this has got to be like one of the most well-worn niches in YouTube, like to just talk about this beef. And it's like there's probably hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of murders that you could talk about in regards to that, not to mention fights and all kinds of situations.
Just the Chicago
oh
scene,
my God, yes.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like a lot of rappers a lot of people have that get rich or die trying mentality. So it's like, why do you want to rap about killing and you know the risk that comes with it? It's like, well, because look, everyone's blowing up.
Yeah.
You know, if I catch a body and beat the body, I'm going to be in the next Trap Geek video with Trap Lil Ross. And I'm going to be fucking, going crazy.
How you feel about Trap Lil Ross?
I fought with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's great.
Heavy.
I seen
like
Sharp
him.
trashing him the other day. I was kind of surprised.
I don't know nothing about that situation. A lot of people feel a certain type of way. I feel like if there was YouTube awards, he definitely deserves one.
Right.
For the way the King Von documentary came out. A lot of people just bullshit themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you talked about killing multiple people, you're tied into multiple murders, you're every bit of a fucking killer, beat a body, this and that. The biggest thing about your image was the fact that you were killing people, and then someone else is gonna be like, no, he wasn't a killer. He was a good kid. When? When the fuck did he ever talk about playing football?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that was his image.
Yeah.
So to say it wasn't is a discredit to everything he lived and died for. That's what he wanted to be, a fucking demon.
Yeah.
That's what he was. That's why people like him.
Vaughn tweeted about that shit so much that the idea that there's anything wrong with people then taking those tweets and taking the lyrics and then making content out of it, it's like, of course someone was going to do that.
Rappers call other rappers pussy that have security, right? Because they want the opportunity to get to you. So when they criticize Trap Lil Ross, you're white, you're from the UK, you've never been over here. All right, well, if he was black, from over here, in the hood, he would already got killed for doing what he's doing. So what do you want him to do, die? I don't understand. Like, you're saying he's doing it from a safe... Yeah, that's why he is who he is. He's safely covering this shit and putting it together beautifully for everybody to fucking watch. But we've seen what happens to Zach TV. You know, we see how these certain situations play out. People want you to be accessible so they can get rid of you. And if they can't get access to you, they're going to criticize you for that fact.
But that's one thing that kind of shocks me is that, so for people like me and academics, we were kind of like early on reporting on shit that was going on in the street and everything. And the criticism was always, you guys are outsiders. You're not really from Chicago. You're not really from these places. So therefore, you having an opinion about it or reporting on it is kind of disingenuous. It's gross,
well,
whatever.
You see now with academics, he doesn't stamp anything. He's like the mediator, which I'm sure he learned that from the war in Chirac. The war in Chirac, he's giving people crazy-ass nicknames and stamping them as the Grim Reaper and this and that. So it's kind of like the situation that I'm in right now, where I'm stamping who's ratting. You know what I mean? It puts yourself in a position, and you become the bad guy. You become the villain in the genre. Oh, he's the one saying this and saying this and saying that. So with academics now, academics doesn't call anyone a rat. He's, what do y'all think? He'll show you everything, and then he'll say, what do y'all think? So that way it doesn't blow back on him. He's just reacting to it. Versus if he was stamping it how I'm stamping it, he'd get the same reaction.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's just, most likely he learned that from the blowback he got from the war in Chirac.
Yeah. And the war in Chirac, though, he was being a little too lighthearted about a lot of that stuff. You know, he was just having fun with it and not acting like these were real people or real consequences, you know?
I mean, I was watching that shit, though.
Yeah, me too. So, but when I've like seen small clips of it in recent memory, and it's like, oh yeah, that is kind of fucked up. Like,
no, I used to always think that in the back of my head too, though. Like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Because if you're anonymous, you can say whatever the fuck you want, you know?
Yeah,
like,
well, that's the thing about the kid that tried to say that I was a snitch, is he's anonymous. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason he's still anonymous.
Right.
And then the fact that he made a video saying I'm this and I'm that, and then he deleted it, but let everyone else run off with the narrative.
Right.
Just speaks for itself.
But okay, even just Chicago, like me and Ak would get that criticism. You guys are not from here. Now in Chicago, the two most poppin' interviewers are DJ U and 16 Shot 'em. It's pretty reasonable to say. They're both very much like from that place, that culture, more than me or Ak. And so as a result, they ask questions in interviews that offer like a knowledge of what's going on in the streets that's way deeper than me or Ak would necessarily know. And I'm like, okay, so these are two guys who are from this place, and they end up doing an even more extreme version of the shit that me or Ak were doing because they really are from there and they're driven by the same incentives that we are. They're just closer to the ground level, so they're able to know more shit. So the same thing that I get shit for and people say I'm an outsider or whatever, it's like when you offer up these same incentives to people who are actually from there, they're going to end up doing an even more extreme portrayal of that culture, right?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of referees don't play the sport.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, they know everything about it. They know how to make calls on situations. But
we don't rap.
We don't rap.
You know, in a different world, if people were a little bit dumber, they would say, like, how dare Adam and Jake have opinions on this shit when they don't even rap?
Yeah, well, because we're white.